You know, I do miss the GoPro because I thought I did love the camera. I
Oh,
didn't have a problem with editing, with using it. I love the camera. Problem I had was I never known when it was shutting off. It was doing that telescopic stupid thing. Okay,
I
fudge.
can.
fudge. What the hell?
Yeah, I got a story about that.
We have to bring it into Johnny's now.
See these Atkins bars?
Yeah.
Christine found out that, if you go to Walmart or you go to Reese's or somewhere to buy these, they're high. They're like
Excuse me, what?
they're like $7 for 5 of them. Okay. But if you order them online, you can get 10 for about the same price you can get for 7, for 5 at the grocery store. So she ordered 2 boxes of them that had 10 in each. This little bitty dog, the guys drop the stuff at our gate, right? It comes online, it comes from a truck. They drop it at our gate. They throw it down there, whatever they do. I know one thing: the guy always takes a leak every time he takes anything out at our gate.
Oh my
Back in our driveway.
What in
You
the
need to
world?
electrify that.
Huh?
You need to electrify that.
So, but anyway,
Oh my goodness.
so they put these boxes out there, right? Well, this little bitty dog comes along and rips into the boxes and eats
Oh.
19 of these candy bars.
No.
And
I'm
he's still
talking a
living?
dog about this tall. Eats
Oh, my.
19 of these Atkins candy bars.
Oh my God.
And we're like, I hope that thing gets to run so bad.
Because I'm gonna tell you, you eat too many of them Atkins, those protein bars like that.
He's gonna
You can
He's gonna go to
pretty much through a screen door at 400 yards and never touch a wire. It'll give you the screen never had.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm like, holy cow! I was aggravated. Good night, James.
Night,
James.
Falling
all
asleep
y'all.
on us. At 9 o'clock, he's falling asleep.
Nighty night.
Nighty night, James. See you in the morning. So, but yeah, that happened, and if I'd have been thinking, I'd have probably filmed it, but I didn't. We took pictures and sent them to the people who shipped this stuff, and said, "Hey, we didn't get it. The dog ate it before, they threw it out there."
That would have been a good video. Oh my goodness.
I may have to build something to put these packages in.
Well, that's what. There's a couple. I know several people. They put like a job site box, those job boxes or whatever, or something like that at the end of their lane that they put that stuff in. But we used to get all our parts delivered by a company at early hours in the morning, and we had a job box outside the building, and they only knew the combination to the lock and us. You know what I mean? So they would come and open it up and put the stuff in and lock it back.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you what, one of the things that aggravates the far out of me, I think this guy is some kind of a whoever's delivering our stuff is some kind of a pervert or something.
Oh my
Because
goodness.
right on both sides of our gate, I have, video cameras in use. You're on camera, and he takes a leak in our driveway every single time.
That's disrespectful.
Every time.
Goodness. Oh. You got to blooper him out, Johnny. He needs to get in the newspaper. Okay, man.
Yeah.
Amazon going to start requiring boxes.
Well, it wasn't just saying. We read something, and I'm going to say it's like 2 weeks ago. Amazon and another shipping company, because there was so much and things getting stolen, they were wanting to start requiring you to have a box to drop stuff in. as security, so you don't have to worry about it no more.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, the
Even
truck.
way out where you are.
Huh?
Even a way out where you are.
Oh yeah.
The guy with the crush on Johnny.
Back like a year ago, we had an Amazon that was delivering out here with some people following him, and every time he made a drop, he picked up everything. It went on for like 2 weeks, and they finally caught the guy by accident. And in his ditch behind his home, you can find all the old boxes and everything that he had in there. He was taking.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They still get the wrong address. That ain't no kidding.
He definitely is what I believe Johnny said. He might be one of them pervs, and he can get him in the bloopers video because that's ridiculous.
I mean, yeah, I can always tell when he's been there because sometimes the guys will actually, we have, if you've ever been here, we have privacy fence on both sides of our gate. So there's a section of privacy fence on each side. And what they'll do is if it's light enough, they'll go up there and they'll drop it behind the privacy fence over the gate. But then he will take a leak right in the middle of the driveway.
Oh my!
And you can see it. As soon as I pull in, I go, "There's a wet spot right in the middle of the drive," and I go,
You know what you do is put a little sign on the gate and say, "Dang, that thing's small."
Poor Christine. And poor
What you got to do is stroke out with a magic marker and put high visibility camera.
Put him in a short and blur out the private parts he was talking. Hey, I've got some trail camera pictures that you wouldn't believe of somebody who came through the woods and decided they needed to do their business in this one spot. And I'm not talking about the number 1 business. I'm talking about the number 2 business.
Dale, that's 3 times in now.
And they came up there and the camera was set for every 5 seconds because it was on a trail. It took pictures of them just continuously.
I know where they came from, Johnny. Dale knows where they came from. Don't you, Dale?
Come from.
Let me see
Sounds
if I
like
can
come from the
find
woods.
No, you know where they came from, Dale.
I'm not gonna be the one that started.
Angie, he's only fertilizing the new pasture.
Yeah.
He must have had some fudge.
I wonder if I can go on my phone and put in. I've got so many pictures. I wonder if I can put in the search tab guy pooping.
Yes.
Mr.
Put a poop
Pooper.
emoji on there.
Because I sure didn't save it in my favorites or nothing.
He came from Missouri, Johnny.
Put trail cam and see if it comes up with pictures from that.
Yeah, I didn't even know you could do that. It was you that was showing me that at JL's that day. Like,
Yeah,
I didn't even know you could do that.
yeah, you can search all kinds of different ways. It's pretty interesting. It's probably AI.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure of some sort, but
Johnny's not pooping in the yard.
no, it's not me. But I think those pictures. Let me see if I can find them here.
Oh my!
But I didn't save a picture that showed. You could tell what he was doing. Let's just put it that way.
He was doing his deed on your land.
Hey, we've all been out in the bush and had to go
This
fertilize.
just goes to show that you don't want to. You got to be aware of your surroundings. You got to.
Yep.
You gotta do him like Elmer Fudd, Johnny. You know Elmer Fudd, how Elmer Fudd does?
Elmer Fudd.
Get your pew out and start.
No.
Yes, that'll make them dance.
Yeah, I got to go a ways back. It was a while back. I
he drives a truck, picks up the oil out of the big tanks and all that. And he goes out in remote places. Anyway, we were talking one day. They were over for dinner, and I was talking about, man, just got rid of a couple ticks. And then all of a sudden, his wife goes, "Yeah, he had a couple on his down below." And I was like, "How the heck do you get that?" Well, when he's out in these remote areas, he's got to go. He sits on the log that he set up out there. So, well, no wonder why he's getting these wood ticks all over his junk. It's funny to hear. It's happened like 2 or 3 times.
Honey, I had to stop today. Can you check my junk?
Yeah. I think that's funnier than heck.
Yeah.
Man, this chat is just gone to
The moon.
Oh, we're off the rails for a long time ago.
Yep.
Oh man.
We need a bidet just to clean it up.
Oh, we don't need no bidets.
No.
Mm-mm.
Sounds like something.
Once you
from
go bidet,
Uranus.
you won't come back.
What, Chris?
No.
Chris, you did it.
Chris, what? Go
Here we go. Yep.
Well, just so you all know, I'm seriously thinking about trying to schedule a day trip, and so that we all can do a live and be right there
That'll be a good blooper
on
video.
property. And I figured what would be great is that we could get Dale on the live to eat some fudge while we're at Uranus.
Make sure he had a bidet to clean up.
Yeah.
Now he's getting the. Oh,
Yeah, you had to get that started, didn't you?
Well, no, I'm seriously thinking about it. I mean, that'd be a hilarious live.
It'd be a perfect live, and everybody could just, just let the stress of the world fade away. Because when Trey went into it, I started.
you go.
I started laughing
He's already
so
got
bad.
a chunk of fudge.
Yep.
Well, that's the reason why I selected Dale to do that, because I knew that Dale likes fudge.
Does he like it with peanuts or butterscotch, caramel, or double chocolate?
This one has pecans. It has nuts in it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything, Johnny.
There's so many ways to go there.
He's
but
got
we're
real
just
fudge.
gonna touch it.
Y'all, he's got real fudge up there. That's not
Man, we've
big.
had a bunch of trail camera pictures of people. I'm going through here and had a ton of trail camera pictures of folks in the wood, down there.
Johnny, that will make great bloopers.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, there's
Might get
probably
you
a lot of things that
demonetized,
would make
though.
great bloopers.
Yeah,
We just don't want to
exactly.
put them out there.
just no fudge with corn. Corn doesn't digest.
Okay.
Dale, does that have corn in it? Amy
Nope,
said.
it has nuts in it.
No.
Gosh, dog.
And I know the person that can do the actual live, because she does so well with all of her other lives and records everything.
Amy?
And I'm talking about Amy.
Angie, come and say that. Come over to Tony and say it. I'm gonna crack up. Say it in her voice.
She's over here laughing. I can hear her laughing. I mean, she's cracking up right now. I can hear her.
We can hear you, Angie. Come on. Get Christine in here too. Christine needs to be in here cracking up with us.
Oh boy, we've gone down the rabbit hole.
Yep, exactly.
Quite a bit. I'm still trying to find this.
Alice in Wonderland.
I couldn't believe it.
We were down the yellow brick road with the Wizard of Oz before.
That was over my country.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
you ain't Kansas anymore.
no, that was my grandma's favorite movie. Actually, that was the last movie I saw with her when she was in the hospital and she passed on.
I've heard that.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Heard that.
Hey, heard that. That's
Mm.
Julie. Hey, Julie, how
Hey.
you doing?
Randy
Thanks for
can't
coming
be too
in.
far away.
Yeah, he usually shows up right after.
I'll tell
Yep.
you what, I don't know if you want to get in on this conversation.
Yes, she did. That's why she come in here. She wants to laugh.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Heard that.
you guys keep it going while I'm looking for this.
Oh,
Chris is saying he's
if you
gonna
really want us to get it going, we'll get it
Oh.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Get
can.
it going.
You
I
just
don't
Go
care.
ahead,
gave us-
Chris.
How big
I
is that
ain't- I
crappie? How big is that crappie?
The big old crappie.
They go coffee, yeah.
Some picture of it, Dale.
So,
Just
yeah,
keep
we're
an eye on that crappie because he's going to grow, to that length,
I'm glad you're here. Heard that because
Yeah.
you guys are coming to 10 Killer, right? Julie, you and Randy coming to 10 Killer. We're hoping we see you there. You remember when everybody had those? When everybody was everybody was masking up everywhere and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
Back, well, some people still do, but some people got really, with their mask, they got really,
I've seen some of them.
they, just kind of got. And I have figured something out today.
They
I
said
figured
they're
out that a whole group of people has gone back to masking up. Oh wow! Yes. Let me hang on.
That's the big old crappie.
Yeah.
A
I
big
saw-
old crappie. Oh wow. Wow.
I saw one that somebody caught that was bigger than a 5-gallon bucket.
No
Oh,
way.
wow.
They had it laying on a 5-gallon bucket, and it was longer than a 5-gallon bucket.
Wow.
It weighed 5-something pounds or something like that. Crappie. That is
Wow.
insane.
Yep.
Do
Yeah.
you guys eat that?
That's the fillet of the
5
leg.
pound crappie? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
We don't have crappie up here, so
That's
Hey,
filet
Tim.
mignon. Filet
Tim's trying to
mignon.
be good tonight, y'all.
Heard that says they are going to 10 Killer.
Awesome.
Mm.
That is awesome. We are looking forward to y'all being there.
Fudge. Say something. Fudge Factory.
What he has? What does that say, Chris?
Fudge Factory.
Dale started it.
There you are, y'all. Look
hey,
at that.
Johnny told him to. He's only doing what he was told.
Have a look at that, Randy and Julie.
I told y'all to not let the chat go stagnant. It gets awkward whenever there's nobody talking or doing anything.
The chat is not going stagnant. It is
No.
rolling.
I mean,
There's been day talk. There's been tip talk. Fudge talk.
Yeah.
And then if you don't know where it's at, there it is.
Oh yes, I've actually been there.
What's this one?
Really? Dude,
Yes.
girl.
you been to Uranus?
Yep, I have.
And did this happen, Johnny?
Where is Angie? Get her up here.
Oh my
Heard that
goodness.
outdoors. I bet
Oh,
you heard
see,
that.
we knew
Randy wasn't that far away.
What's that?
Hey,
say?
there he is. There's Randy.
Hey, Randy
Good
and
to see you,
Julie, do
Randy.
y'all know the
Hey,
best
Randy.
fudge in the world comes from Uranus,
We'll pack your.
Missouri?
Whenever I said keep the chat rolling, I didn't really mean to talk about Uranus.
You know that if you go to Uranus, you can explore it within 90 seconds on their website.
Goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Says it right there.
So skinny.
Come on, guys.
Read my bill roll. Read what Bill wrote.
Randy and Julie, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to actually find a picture on my phone of some dude that didn't know my trail camera was in the woods one day.
And decided to stop and drop the juice.
I'm still looking. Can you believe how many pictures you can take on one of your phones?
I can. And I get notified all the time that it's almost full.
The chat just went to a new level. Look at Bill's
I'm
comment.
gonna say
I
now
know.
that's taking it a whole nother
I know.
Gosh,
That's a real place. Oh my goodness.
that's not.
We just set it up.
Chris will have to look it up if it's a real place and verify that.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm not
Bill,
putting that
Bill
up on the
wouldn't tell
screen.
you. Bill would tell you if it was or wasn't.
Yeah, Bill will tell you. I believe Bill.
Hey, I
He will
got
fit
a
in the
throwback. I
hotel
got a
if you're
throwback. I got a throwback Saturday for you, real quick. Let me throw my throwback Saturday for
What
you.
you're talking about during the
Ruh-roh.
Who does that look like?
Let's
It's
see.
hard to see, but there it is.
Oh my
Holy
God.
moly.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is a throwback.
That's a throwback.
Yeah, it is.
And the thing about that photo was I was about 30 years old. So
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Oh
that was
yeah,
just-
that was one hell of a mullet, Angie.
yeah, that was a mullet.
Yeah.
So
It's
that was
located
that
in
was just
Fairbanks.
like what, 30 years ago?
Chris
30
looked it
years.
up.
30 years. And you know what? My
Mhm.
wife still looks the same.
Yeah.
She sure does. Y'all both looks the same.
No.
Yes, y'all's are both beautiful. Stop it.
No.
Chris found the real place. It is.
Unfortunately, it's temporarily closed right at the moment.
Somebody's
Yeah.
stuck in the hole.
Can't believe it.
Oh,
What do they have? I mean, it's a
let's go back
restaurant.
and talk about crappie fishing.
That's a restaurant. Has
So
to
one
be.
of the guys tonight told me that in the last week, since the water cleared up on a lake south of me, that
Yeah.
him and his buddies have caught over 200-pound of crappie fillets.
Wow.
Wow.
That'll fill a freezer.
Yeah.
So I'm taking you don't have any
Yes, well,
regulations on crappie then?
It works.
Yeah, you can catch like 40 or 50 a day in this lake.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, aren't they a nuisance fish? Like,
No.
no?
Fish fry.
Crappie? You
Oh, they're
know,
the fillet. They're
I'm
Well, like I
fillet.
excited.
say, I'm only asking because we don't have them up here. So
I'm actually excited to go fishing in our pond because I stocked our pond 3 years ago, and I haven't fished it in a long time. The last time I fished it was like the first year that I stocked it, and all I caught was some bullhead catfish, and I caught a couple of the channel cats that I had actually put in.
Yeah.
But I put a bunch of crappie. I put a bunch of we call them brim.
Mhm.
But I put a bunch of bass, and I put a bunch of channel cats in there. So I'm hoping that I can catch a crappie out of there. That's what I'm wanting is
Mhm.
crappie because they're really great to eat.
All right, fishing
Oh,
video.
really, Bill?
Finally, Johnny.
Do
Fishing
what?
Fishing
No,
video.
fishing video. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be me out there pulling another bullhead off the line and throwing it on the bank behind me, going darn,
Yeah.
frassing.
Well, you know what they say: a bad day of fishing is better than a good day of working.
That ain't no
Amen.
kidding.
Heard that.
I'm gonna tell you, them little bullheads, like you're talking, them little like
Yeah.
6-inch long bullheads or whatever.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, my grandma, I got to telling her that I was catching bullheads on the creek.
Oh.
on the creek that was between their house and our house.
Yeah.
And she says, "Oh, honey, you bring me several of those, like 10 or 12 of those." And she says, "I'll make you something good to eat." I'm thinking, why am I going to take these little trash minnow, basically little big fish, to my grandma? So I did as I was told. I brought them up there in a 5-gallon bucket, and she takes me out there to the chicken, butchering stump. Takes her machete she had stuck there, and she cuts the head off them little bullheads, and then eviscerates them. Then she takes them in the house, and she rolls them in flour and cornmeal and grease, and she fries them whole.
Oh.
And I'm gonna tell you, they were good eating.
Back then, they didn't have
good eating.
Yeah, they didn't have a choice back then, right? They made everything taste good.
She loved the tail on them.
Crispy.
Really?
She'd fry that whole tail up, and she says like eating potato chips. She loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to eat the tail all the time. And they're crunchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. They're like a tater chip, but you can eat them.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't go out of my way to go eat it, but it was edible.
Is that better than the?
We did.
Yeah.
Whenever I was a kid, Dad would send me. I grew up in a weird time. He only gave me, like, I had this 22, right, and it wasn't actually mine. It was my brother's. But Dad would give me just a few 22 shells, and he would send me out to hunt or whatever. And if I brought back game, he only doled out a few shells, so every shot had to count. Let's just put it that way.
So you wouldn't waste them.
Yes, because he knew if he gave me a box of 50 22 shells, I'd be out there just popping away at everything. So he'd give me like 3. And he'd send me out hunting, So I learned pretty quick after the first 2 or 3 times he got to where he wouldn't give me any shells unless I brought something home. So I was shooting squirrels, and and then he would give me more 22 shells by the amount of squirrels that I got and stuff like that. Well, I started shooting them in the head, because I learned that if you shot them in the body, sometimes they'd get in a hole. And so I would shoot them in the head so they'd fall out of the tree right away. And Dad hated that. He hated me to shoot squirrels in the head.
He wanted to eat
why, Dale?
He wanted to eat them squirrel brains.
He did.
He did.
He wanted the squirrel brains. So, and I tried to explain to him. I said, Dad, they get it. He said, oh, no. I said, Dad, the only thing you hunt squirrels with yourself is a 12-gauge shotgun. I'm out there with a 22.
I've never used a shotgun to hunt squirrels before, so I wasn't until I watched a video. I was like, well, that looks way easier than trying to hit a squirrel with a 22.
It is. The only deal is you're eating that old squirrel and going, spit that pellet out. Ain't no different than pheasant, though,
No. I don't know about you, but when I go to cleaning a pheasant after, or quail or anything, man, I'm combing through that thing like a fine tooth comb, trying to make sure I get all them pellets and everywhere that a pellet goes in, it carries feathers in with it.
Yes, it does. You're absolutely right.
So you got to dig all that out of there.
Talk about tooth.
We told everybody earlier on Rainy Ridges live, but we had a we had a tragedy here last night. Our rooster that was like 7 years old, Mr. Fluffy Pants, great big old blue copper Moran rooster.
Oh no.
He become raccoon buffet last night.
Uh-oh.
Randy, kind of came and went.
It came and went.
It came and went. I didn't do any pheasant hunting this year, but yeah, it came and went. I have shot pheasants before though.
And I'm serious. I'm gonna set up because I want my bucket. Well, on my bucket list is prairie chickens.
Oh yeah,
and pheasants, of course.
Prairie chickens.
I got a lead on central to western Nebraska walk-in areas of hunting them. So I've already talked to my cousin and my dad, and
I'm in.
Yep, that's the plan. We all talked about it, and I said something about it, and Dad's like, well, you set up a big deal, and so a bunch of us can go. I said, all right, I'm going to work on it then. So,
you know me, I'd be in. I'm good on that stuff. I like to hunt stuff like that.
I like the looks of the country. Some of the people that have told me about it and everything, and they show me it's a lot of sand hills country that's like not that grass that's clear over the top of your head. It's a lot of, knee to waist high, grass and tumbleweed and stuff like that. And they done real good at it. So
well, I know like up in South Dakota you can hunt the ditches, and stuff like along the road.
That's what my uncle always wants to go do. He wants to go back there because that's what when they went to Iowa, that's what he would always want to go walk the ditches. And Dad was telling me about that, and Dad said, we let him walk the ditch, and he said him and his nephew, one of my cousins, they went into where the grass was in the waterway, and they were in pheasants the whole time, and my uncle walked that ditch and never seen them. The only thing he got to see was them fly clear out of range. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've watched some videos of some guys going up there and hunting some walk-in areas and stuff. And there's just little spots here and there, and he would walk along the road ditch and everything else. He had a lab that he was using for a dog, and man, I tell you what, he was getting into them. He was really getting into
the Dakota deal. The thing that scares me about going to South Dakota is I don't want nothing to do with them cattails.
Yeah,
Angie,
you gotta have a good dog in them cattails.
Yeah, I've been there and done that, Angie. Yeah, that's old news. I gotta have new adventures.
We should try noodling one time. I'll watch the video. So, yeah, that would, yeah. The noodling thing is, I don't do any noodling.
No, me neither. I've never done that.
Sorry, I just can't see myself sticking my hand into a hole, especially down there.
Be careful.
Listen, we're already long gone there.
I was just going to say, I'm not putting my hole down Uranus.
Come on, guys.
Chris,
So,
you have a fit.
But
man, now I'm wondering where my pictures went. Oh, I found them. I found them. I found them.
After
I was gonna say
Yeah.
after an hour and 45 minutes,
By
you got a
yourself.
guy having a squat.
Let's see this.
That's good.
That is
Well,
hilarious.
Well, well,
That's
hang
what they
on.
do.
Hang
Oh
on,
my
I'll show you something here.
He
Make
must
sure
be
it's
no.
censored.
Mark.
No.
Now, the guy was
Why
really
he got naked?
he was
I'm
really
not sure.
industrious about how he set himself up,
yep,
kind of a leaner.
yep.
Yeah. He was in for the long run of that one.
Hopefully he didn't get no tick on his junk.
Oh my gosh, can you believe that?
Can you imagine? I mean, you got a trail camera set up. Somebody
They just show up
You should hear
with
it.
their birthday suit on.
That was your wife. We could hear her.
That's her laughing in
The
there.
only thing that okay, so
Cracking
that
up in
picture
there.
that picture probably was blurry intentionally, but it looked like he'd stripped completely nude to do that.
I know. That's what I said.
He took his pants off.
Oh my goodness.
He didn't want any dripping.
Real. Look, Johnny just showed y'all the picture. Can you believe they do that on his land? Oh my goodness gracious.
Oh man.
You
Yeah.
can't
Why
make
he
this stuff
took off
up.
his shirt? I'm unsure of that.
He pulled his shirt up.
Oh, he held it there up there under his armpits.
Wow, that was a messy one.
Yeah, it was a bad one. It's a bad one.
Must have ate a Taco
Pretty
Bell.
explosive.
Yeah.
That was a honey hold by beer.
Being one with nature right there.
Yeah.
Ash to ashes, dust to dust. Watch out, anus, here I
And I
come.
have no idea who that was.
Oh,
None. Zero.
no. Oh
That's
my
hilarious.
Hey, it's too bad you know if that was like a neighbor and you walk up and hey, was that you?
Is he a truck driver?
I
Yeah.
almost put that on Facebook and said, does anybody know who this Yahoo is?
That's a good one, Johnny.
Been there, done that before, Randy.
Yeah, Randy, my dad, my whole family are truck drivers except for me. I can't even begin to count how many times that
Sunday.
all of a sudden the Jake brake would come on and they'd kick it in neutral and we'd come to a stop along a highway and I'd be like, what are we doing?
You're
And you
doing
know how
nothing.
awkward it is to be the guy sitting in the passenger seat while the driver gets out and goes between the duals and the trailer.
Hey, I want to tell you one that happened just recently here.
Mhm.
So one morning I drove out of our driveway and I looked back to see if anybody was coming from the other direction. And I saw something in the road, and we own the land on both sides of the road, all the way down as far as you can see down through there. So I look over there and I see something. I see these white papers on the right there
Yep.
on the
Oh my God.
and I'm like, what is somebody threw some trash out right here, And I always pick up the trash all the way up and down the road along our property.
Mhm.
So it was only probably 30 yards from our gate, our actual gate hole. So I got out of my truck and I walked over there, and somebody had I guess they had to stop, if you know what I mean.
yeah.
Mhm.
Because it was pretty explosive right there.
Yeah.
They had found some like McDonald's napkins or something,
Hey, whenever you got that old rumbly and the grumbly, you gotta go.
and threw them down, and they were they blew around out there and everything, and I'm like, are you kidding me? That's right.
Yeah, it's
You got
paper.
that
It'll
kind of-
decompose.
I'm with Bill though. I bet you left that trash. You didn't pick that trash.
No, I didn't pick it up.
No. It becomes compost pretty quick.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
pretty much wasn't touching that stuff. I did get a stick and kind of flip the flip them over into the
Ditch.
actual ditch itself. It's got a deep ditch on one side. That way, the next rain that comes, it would kind of go on.
Oh my goodness! Back into your
nature's flush.
yeah.
And that's why my water tastes funny.
Yeah, well, it goes into the water. You know it all recycles back in. Y'all are drinking your own. Some of your own.
That stuff to me, I don't get freaked out. I mean,
It'll
all
dry
of our
up.
water here is surface water, every bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
there's thousands of heads of deer and birds and everything else.
Cattle, yeah.
Cattle.
September means
By the time that it gets done, gets treated, and by the time it gets to you, I mean, the chunks are out of it by then at least.
But
As
damn,
long
how
as
many
you don't have
times
to chew your water, you're good.
I would have taken a picture and posted it online. Who did this? It was pretty bad. I mean, you know, we've all been there, you know, where we've had to go to a public restroom somewhere. And I'm sure the ladies have to do it a lot more than, you know, even us. But you'll go in there and you'll go, how in the world did that happen? I mean, there's a lot of times whenever you walk in and you're like,
that's right.
how'd that happen?
Yeah, I can't even begin to count how many times I've walked in on a mission, got to the doorway of the stall, looked in, and thought, nope, I'll just mess my pants.
Anyways, on that note, have a good night, folks.
Night, Scott.
Good night, Scott.
Thanks,
Thanks
Scott.
for coming in, buddy.
All right, we'll talk to you after.
Bye-bye.
I'll never forget. Lisa and I were on a trip to Colorado to pick
Thanks,
up
Scott.
my oldest
sweet.
son.
Mhm.
You know, and we'd leave at like 3:00 in the morning, you know, and we'd make a trip out and a trip back in one day to pick him up. And I told her, I'm like, we're gonna have to stop at this next gas station. I gotta go to the bathroom. So I pull in there, I go in, I come back, you know, almost immediately, get in the car, and she's like, man, that was quick. I said, we gotta find somewhere else. Like, there's a bathroom right here. I said, I'm telling you, woman, I don't care if you pay me $1 million an hour. I'm not going back in that place.
I can't even imagine how bad it was in there smelling. Like it must have stench. Like,
well, I mean, and from listening to my wife, the women's rooms get just as bad.
Well, that same boy, now that he's an adult, he worked as a custodian for a school around here. And he told me, he said, man, he said, Dad, I used to think guys' restrooms and locker rooms were nasty.
I don't even want to know.
He said, now I have to clean them. He said, they ain't nothing like a women's. And he goes, it's not the one that the younger generation. He said, it's the older one, like all the, you know, the adults that's the problem. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And he's like, I'm telling you.
I would have taken a picture and posted it. So
I would have just taken a picture and posted it. Yeah, that nobody need to see that. I'm telling you.
No.
It's like.
Did you want me to Google
it?
Yeah. I bet Johnny has a lot of those pictures. From
yeah, we can talk about something other than bathroom talk now. Let's move on.
Yeah. But in defense, you know, we haven't really lost that much of the chat since before we even started. I think we were at 29. We're still at 29. So
yeah,
we kind of held the
There you go. Evelyn knows how to change the subject.
Yes, there it is, Evelyn.
10 Killer Meetup, April 25th, 26th, and 27th.
See all that down there? The below Dale?
Yep.
There you go.
And you want to talk about clean restrooms?
Yes.
Every time I've been there, that facility has been nice.
Yes, absolutely. It's been good there. I think they check it every once in a while. Oh yeah, I was saying earlier, I found the whole crew of folks that are now masking back up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
Where?
Huh?
They ain't here.
No, I mean there's a certain demographic that is masking back up.
Yes.
Weird. That's
Have you
weird.
seen it, Tony?
Yeah, and what makes me laugh is these people. Some of them are driving their cars, or they're just walking into stores, and I'm like, or Walmart or whatever, and they're fully masked up. I'm tight. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh my goodness.
You're not with me on what I'm talking about, Tony.
Okay.
He has a
It has to do
picture.
with ice.
Oh, okay.
They're masking back up because facial recognition software and stuff like that.
AI.
Yes.
Mhm.
And,
Department of Homeland
so
Security.
I was at an auction today, and a whole demographic of folks who really couldn't speak where I could understand them was all masked up. Every single one of them.
Really?
Yep.
Mhm.
So anyway, I'm just saying.
It'd be weird to wonder what they purchased. You know?
Underwear,
Oh,
because that's what they're putting on their faces.
Just whatever.
Well, I know it's something that they didn't want no one knowing that they're getting.
I even heard one of them say that he couldn't purchase because he didn't have any kind of ID to show them to get a buyer number. So when he wanted to purchase something, he would find somebody with a buyer number, and he would ask them to purchase things for him, bid for him.
Really?
Yep. Because he had no ID.
Wow.
And I'm just saying, yeah. What they don't realize, eyes facial recognition can identify with just the eyes showing. Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, they're not smart enough to figure out that thing right there could recognize me and unlock with one on. So can facial recognition.
Yeah.
All the
Because
way up.
your phone would unlock by looking at your picture while you're wearing one. How would I know? Because I had to teach with it.
Yeah.
I could just look at my phone would unlock.
Yeah.
I have to reset anything, nothing. So
Yeah. There's no regulation for AI though. That's just the thing.
But anyway, I watched him go. He was just looking for somebody to purchase things for him, and he would just get right in the crowd where something was, and he would ask them. He said, "Would you, basically bid on that?" And I was like, "Wow." I saw some interesting stuff today. I don't know if I caught that on video. I might have. I did catch a younger Amish fella going through a box full of romance novels.
Oh my God.
What are those ones that the women all like to read that it's got that
Fabian on it.
guy with the long flowing hair and
That's
all this
that
stuff.
Fabian guy on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reading, and he was really intent on these books and this deal, and I was like,
Oh my goodness gracious.
wow. And I did get that on video as I was walking by.
Johnny, where was this auction at?
I was just kind of had my camera down beside me. I just kind of went all the way around it.
Bill, I can't read that.
Yeah.
Where's this auction at you went to today?
Huh?
Where was the auction at?
I know.
Okay.
But
Because Tony wants to come
Harlequin
in.
and stuff like that. Fabulous. Yes, absolutely. It was. I thought, there's nothing about farming in there, buddy.
yeah.
No kidding.
Let me ask you this, Johnny. Did he have a beard or was he clean shaven?
He had just a beard. You know, there's no mustache. They wear pants without back pockets because their pants are homemade out of that kind of. It's not even really denim. It's a material. They only have front pockets. Their shirts and everything are all homemade, so they don't really look like anything that you would buy anywhere. I went over the whole deal about the Amish and stuff because on my one video where I talked about the Amish auction and stuff like that, everybody was telling me Amish don't drive anything with motors and Amish don't do this and Amish don't do that. And so I really talk a lot about the Amish in this video as I'm going around through it. I show how they drive the tractors and they put all the tarps over them to conduct the heat into. They put doors on the side of them and windshields and and they just drive them everywhere. They'll pull a little trailer or pickup bed trailer behind them. So
comfort cab.
That's they just they do all kinds of stuff that a lot of people don't realize that they actually do, and they can ride in vehicles. They don't necessarily, and some of them own vehicles. Don't get me wrong. Some of them do own vehicles, but any Amish can ride in a vehicle. And at this auction, there's so many Amish, it's an Amish auction. It really is. And there's so many Amish that they start these vehicles, they move them around and stuff like that for the auction and stuff. So whenever they tell me that's not an Amish auction, I told them, I said, it wasn't. No, the estate was not a deceased Amish. No, it wasn't. You're right. But the company is an Amish company that does the auction.
Huh.
So,
there's like different. So in our country up here, there's differing levels. So what they refer to as they're all really Amish, but there's old world Amish, which they only ride horses and buggies. They have no motorized, like no tractors, nothing like that. But like you say, if they work, say, as a carpenter crew for somebody else and they drive a vehicle, they can ride in that vehicle.
Yep.
If it's for their job, like to move that skid steer on the job site, they can operate it, but they can't personally have it when they leave their work. Then there's the next level is modern or more modern Amish. So they can have like tractors, but they can't have tires. They can only have steel wheels. They can't have a tire on it. And it can have no convenience. So it'd be like stuff from the 50s and 60s. You know what I mean? It could be old equipment. Then they have German Baptist is what they refer to it here, but it's more of a Mennonite. And they can own vehicles. They can own tractors. They just can't have they can't have the internet at their house. They can't have TV. They can't, you know what I'm saying, like that. Then there's even another level past them that they can have everything just like what we do. They can have a cabin air on their tractor, vehicle. They carry a cell phone, stuff like that. So there's like 4 classes of them up in this area.
Yeah, and whenever you're doing like me, whenever I'm doing this video, I had so many people comment that they're not, and stuff like that. But and I try to tell them, yes, here, they do these things. But I can tell you one thing: those dudes, they wear home stitched.
Oh yeah,
and I mean those. You can spot them a mile away because, and they never have a back pocket on them. They don't carry anything in a back pocket. It's front pockets only, and because I'm like, wow, that's really kind of different,
And the reason why I ask about the beard situation is,
the married or the not married.
Yeah, if they can't grow a beard, till they're
until they're
married.
married. Yeah. Yeah, and then they don't have a mustache at all.
They don't have mustache.
They have no mustache. They just have a beard,
Yep.
and they grow a beard once they marry. Before they marry, then they're clean shaven, and then they grow. Because one of the guys that actually, you know, they were running 5 rings at one time. So
Wow, that'd be hard to keep track of.
yes, and so almost all of them were bearded Amish that were actually doing the rings, but there was one young Amish fella that was running it. You could tell by his dress and everything like that, and he was really proper, I guess you'd say, very proper. And you know, I was like, well, he's not married yet, you know, so he's at that young age, not married yet. But he was, and I watched one that I guarantee he was 12 years old auctioning. I mean, this kid was blah, 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 and just really going at it. So, and doing good. But I tell you what, they that Amish clothing is just it. You can spot them from you can see a crowd, and then you'll notice different clothes in there, and you go, oh yeah, there they are right there.
Yep, there they are.
You don't have to see the beard or any of that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, there's a group to the northwest of us up here. They're old, old, I call it old school or old world. But they have a phone in that community. They have one phone booth.
Yeah.
That everybody can ride their horse and buggy to use that phone, say they needed to call to the parts store or whatever, you know.
Well, see, they did that up there, and there was one phone put in at one place at a house, but they put in a booth outside.
Yep, couldn't be in the house.
Kind of like the community house and it was off the highway, and it's where all the just like Dale said, it's where all the Amish came from every direction to that one phone to make a call or to take a call. So if they knew somebody was calling, they would go there and wait on the phone to ring.
Like I was an ag parts guy forever, you know, for most of my working career. And I had some for my customers, and they may come in and I would be like, okay, I'll call and tell you when it's in. And they're like, well, I don't have a phone at my house. And I'm like, oh, okay. But here's a number, call it, but only call it at 2:00 or only call it at 2:30. And I said, okay. And he's like, well, I got to ride the horse and buggy up there to the phone, and I'll be there at 2:00. And he said, then I'll answer it then.
Yeah.
And then I'll know to come get it. And that's like I went to work in another town. I didn't grow up around this. Lisa had been around a lot of it, you know, because she was from that area. She called me like the very first day I worked up there, and she's like, how's work going? And I said, this is the weirdest place I've ever been in my life. She's like, why is that? I said, everybody drives their tractor into town. I've never seen that. I mean, there were tractors like that, 25, 55.
Yeah.
Those were everywhere in two-wheel drive version.
Yeah.
25, 50s. And every one of them, like you said, would have a truck bed trailer. Yeah. Some of them used like a small stock trailer.
Yeah.
And they would be pulling that stock trailer behind that tractor. And if you come up behind it, if the gate was one of them gates that you could see inside the trailer,
yeah,
there would be mama and all the kids inside the stock trailer. Yeah. And dad would be driving the tractor going to town, you know.
I talked to one of the Amish guys today. He bought a pallet load of precision torque converters.
Mm.
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah.
I was like, bought you a pallet of torque converters, huh? Yep. And real, they're a lot of times they're not super outgoing.
I wonder if they're scrapping them or something.
Just put it that way. I mean, they probably think I'm the English or whatever. I don't know what.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying.
Well, if you got a flat hat and would shave
Yep.
off that mustache, you'd probably fit in, Johnny.
Yeah. Shave this off.
Yep.
Bowl cut my hair and tear my back pockets off. But anyway, yeah, he got a bunch of. He had a whole pallet full of torque converters, and I was like, "That's all right, yeah." Are you building transmissions? I mean, is that what your game? And I'm not saying, because I know they're really good mechanics and stuff like that. They're good at that kind of stuff, and just I shouldn't say it like that. Different people are good at different things, but this person looked like he was mechanically inclined, I guess you'd say. I don't know. And but I thought that was pretty. And he was loading them on his pickup bed trailer behind his little tractor with all the shielding on it. And they do drive, and they drive 2-wheel drive tractors because they drive them down the highway so much and drive them on concrete so much that they'd tear those 4-wheel drive, units out in these, they'd ruin them driving too much on the main road. And they put those car tires on the front of those because it's a lot smoother ride.
Oh yeah.
So usually the back tires are pretty bald. They still have the ag type tire on the back, but they're pretty bald because they've been on the highway so much. And the front tires will just be a couple of like bias ply, 15 front tires off something. And they just drive them up and down the highway, just like, we drive our cars everywhere.
2 blocks from this John Deere dealership that I was a parts manager at, that was the livestock auction barn. And of course, that livestock auction that was in that town, they also sold like hay, and you could bring stuff to sell on consignment in front before the livestock sale. So that happened on a Tuesday. So every Tuesday, that town would become inundated with all of the Amish and Mennonite. They would all come to town for auction day. And that auction was one of them. It's not that common, like Johnny can tell you around here, for our livestock auctions to be like multi-species livestock auction. Like most of the auctions here are cattle only, or it's a sheep and goat only auction, or it's not like just every species. Well, that barn really was cattle, but because of all of that, it become multi-species too. It'd be nothing for hogs to go through the cell, or goats, or sheep, or cattle, or everything.
I miss auctions like that because whenever I was a kid, that's the way they were.
Yeah.
When I was little, when mom and dad took us to auction every Saturday was auction. I mean, we went every week. And so the pigs, they'd run the pigs through, they'd run the sheep, the goats, and they'd bring pallets of little cages of chickens out there, and auction, and people be sitting around the ring, and they'd buy these chickens, and then run the cows. There's no telling what you'd see. Everything came through it. And
so like my brother-in-law, Lisa and I's brother-in-law, he runs a poultry auction. So he sells everything poultry like once a month. It's sheep, or not sheep, but rabbits and chickens and ducks and swans and turkeys and you name it, quail and pheasant and pigeons and everything. And eggs, laying eggs. I mean, hatching eggs. There'll be hundreds of dozens of hatching eggs that they'll sell and stuff like that there. And it happens once a month.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
we were going and helping. This last year, we were so busy with everything and doing stuff that we didn't go and help. But I think we're planning on trying to help some this year again. But
there's no livestock auctions up in Alaska, is what Bill says, and I'm like, where do you like get? Where do you, what do you, is it just private sale everywhere?
it must be all private treaty, I guess.
Yeah.
Just sell on Marketplace, on Facebook Marketplace. That's where you buy all your
You
cows.
can't even sell an animal on Facebook Marketplace. It's against community standards. If you put, I guarantee you, you go to Marketplace, you try this. Try putting a pig or a cow on there and put for sale. And put a dollar figure. It will disappear within an hour or two. And you're going to get a message that says violating community standards. But you could put adoption and put a fee, and it might let it go through.
But anyway, yeah, have no extras in Alaska, Bill. Just sell on Marketplace, and Andy goes, "Wow." Yeah, that's right. Because even though I'm on Oklahoma cattle all the time down here, and what somebody will do is their first post they'll put on pictures of their cows, and then the second post, down in the chat they'll put like those weird numbers,
where they'll have a number spell it.
Yeah.
They'll do something like that, and then so and they'll give
like
maybe a
Bill
way
said,
to say
only
PM,
300.
DM me or whatever.
Yeah.
And they do that, and they seem to stick. Actually, the Danny Boy came from Facebook Marketplace.
Really?
Yes.
I knew you told me that, but
Yes,
forgot.
he came from. I think he was over 6.5 hours away, out in western Oklahoma. And the guy told me how much he wanted for him if I came and got him, and how much he wanted for it if he brought it to me. And it was a no-brainer for him to bring it to me. It was like another $500, and I'll deliver him. And I was like 6.5 hours over there, 6.5 hours back. You bet you. Look at there. He got his Whataburger cup.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Dr. Pepper shake.
Hey, if that is a Dr. Pepper float.
I can make it afloat quick, fast, and in a hurry. Lisa.
Jesse, I thought of you 2 days ago.
Oh no!
At my work, the student services at the college sent out an all users email. The Coke machine people were there, filling all the Coke machines. And he said, I have a donation for you guys. And they're like, you do? Yep. Which Coke here is Dr. Pepper for this area.
Somebody
so Dr. Pepper is distributed by Coke here.
I was trying to see what that noise was too. Go ahead.
Actually, both.
Yeah, there's a lot of companies that do that, or a lot of states that do that. Like in Oregon, when we go to Oregon, their Coca-Cola company distributes all the Dr. Pepper products.
Yeah. So they posted a picture of what he donated. It was like 50 or 60 cases of Dr. Pepper Zero all stacked up in a line.
Oh, wow.
Or, cases free.
And but just to show you, he ain't lying. That's my favorite. Where's my camera?
Yep, that's what it was.
Yeah.
But the only problem was it expired on March the 5th.
Oh no.
Which to
Now,
me, I'm like, I didn't know that Coke or Dr. Pepper Zero expired.
So I'll let you guys know, a little secret. I used to work for this company for about 5 years. These cans are made by the American Can Company, or they were when I was there. American Can Company. I'm sure they may get it from China for all I know now, but they make these cans at American Can Company, and they line these cans with a coating. There's a coating in there, a food grade coating. Well, after so much time sitting in that acidic liquid, that after a while that it starts to peel off the inside. That's why it tastes like metal. It's because the liner's already come off and you're tasting the actual can. But
Wow.
we used to get these off the line when they were first made. When they first come off the line, and they're right about a degree or 2 degrees above freezing when they come off the line. And you talking about the best Dr. Peppers, right? When they make, and the whole warehouse smells so sweet because you can smell the sugar. But anyway, I'd go to work and we'd get these out of the machine for how much? 10 cents a piece.
Oh man,
We were just paying for the can. We weren't paying for nothing else because the liquid's hardly nothing. When you go buy a drink like this right here, you know how much Dr. Pepper's in here? About 4 cents worth of Dr. Pepper's in this whole bottle right here.
Yeah.
4 cents, and they charge you what? $1.50, $2.50, whatever. That's how much. Whatever the
JL's $3.50.
Yep. So that they're making all that if they're getting the fountain. Now, if you're buying bottles or cans or whatever, but if you're using the fountain, it's like 2 cents worth of product in one of these right here. The rest of it's our carbonation and ice. You're paying for the ice.
Hey, I'll tell you something that's nasty as well. That's like take a bottle of Mountain Dew, leave it in your truck in the sun for like 2 weeks, even though you bought it 2 weeks ago, you try to drink that. Oh my gosh, it is. I guess the bottle starts coming apart you start drinking the plastic or something.
Right.
Because I tell you what, it gets really nasty.
But I'd go to work and I'd fill up my ice chest. I get 6 of these for 60 cents, and I'd have a drink all day long on my route while I was driving around doing whatever. I had all the drinks I needed. I'd drink a 6-pack, and then on Thursdays they call them breaker days. So a lot of the cans that didn't make it on the ring ride or whatever, they just kept going. Well, they put those in these big cases, and they would call breaker days. We go out there and you can get up to 6 cases for $1 a case.
Wow.
And we get on Thursday. So I had soda out the wazoo, boy, I'm telling you. So I got hooked on Dr. Pepper, and then a friend of mine got me hooked on the Diet Dr. Pepper, and now I'm hooked on Zero.
Oh, really?
But yeah,
I've never had Dr. Pepper Zero. I don't know.
It's good.
It doesn't have aspartame in the Zero, right?
I'm not sure what it has, but it has something that tastes good. Yeah, it has aspartame.
It does have aspartame in it.
It does, according to the can, yeah.
Oh,
Isn't that stuff that like does something to you?
yeah, that's right.
Well, there's probably about 20 things on here that do something to you.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she lets you drink that.
What? Well, you know what? She says I'm worth more dead than I am alive.
Link up.
That's why you think I always look out behind my back.
Got that right.
See, you heard it.
Vanilla cream Dr. Pepper is the bomb, says Julie. I'm sorry. Julie says vanilla cream.
No.
No,
Have you had it?
like the cream
Yeah.
soda. I've
No.
had it. I don't like it. It's
I don't
okay,
like
but if that's all there is.
Aspartame causes tumors.
It's not a tumor.
Wait a minute. Did you not see the news? Did you not see the news on that lady that's 104 years old and she said she drinks 3 Dr. Peppers every day?
That-
3 Dr. Pepper. Yeah, she drinks 3 Dr. Pepper, and she's been drinking it for like 70 years. And she says, all my doctors told me to quit, but all my doctors are dead. So I guess I'm going to.
Yep.
She's like 104 years old.
10, 2, and
Well,
4.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, probably 10, 2, and 4. But she says she's been drinking 3 Dr. Peppers every day most of her life. said,
Well,
well,
my granny died at 96, and we called her Ma. Ma died at 96, and she dipped snuff every friggin' day. The old glass snuff, we used them as drinking cups, but snuff came in them, and she dipped snuff the entire time.
Wow.
wow.
Did the baby live?
What baby?
I don't know. Lori asked if the baby lived.
Somebody's cracking. Was that Angie or Jess or Lisa?
Yeah, you heard her back there laughing? Yep.
That was Angie, probably.
Yep.
Is Angie getting a kick out of this?
Oh, yeah. She's nonstop laughing.
My mother-in-law is 97 and she drinks bourbon and Sprite every day. That is an awesome mother-in-law.
Yep.
Well, my grandfather, he was in his 90s when he passed away. He ate 2 eggs, 2 tortillas, and bacon every morning. He smoked, and he also drank ancient age every single day. I mean, straight. Followed it with a little water, and that's it.
My dad
But you know what? He never in his whole life ever had fast food. Never had fast food. Never been to a drive-through or nothing. It's always ate home cooked meals from the house.
Hey, I'm gonna age myself a little bit, but have you guys ever seen the movie with Woody Allen in it called Sleeper? The old Sleeper movie was about a guy who got cryogenically frozen, and he somehow they brought him out of it way in the future. It was Woody Allen. Okay. He gets cryogenically frozen. He comes out of it way later. And as soon as he starts coming out of it, they shove like a full pack of cigarettes in his mouth and light all of them at one time. And then they would grab him out of it and pour whiskey straight down his throat.
No.
He's gagging and choking and everything else. And he goes, "What are you trying to do? Are you trying to kill me?" And they said, "No, doctors have determined that all that science that you guys had was wrong whenever in your time. And we have determined now that whiskey and cigarettes are what are the secret to prolonging life. So that's what they do to try to kill you." Hilarious, man.
Yeah.
So everybody's running around, everybody's drinking and smoking cigarettes.
Well, they say that liquor is bad for you, or look at the French. They drink wine with almost every meal. A glass of wine with almost every meal, and there's no heart disease in France. I mean, I'm not gonna say there's none, but so they don't have much
Right.
in Europe. But here we got it like it's out the wazoo. But
here in the United States, we're adding a lot more chemicals than other countries allow in their foods. A lot of other countries don't allow all these chemicals that's in our foods.
right, well, we're hoping JFK will fix that.
There you go. Exactly.
What is it? Ketchup has like three ingredients in
Let's go.
in like Canada or something like that. And here ketchup has 26 ingredients or something.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah, but in Canada they only have 1 Captain Crunch. They don't have 10.
Good point. They also say that like McDonald's French fries our McDonald's French fries got like 17 ingredients, where over there is 3: salt, potato, and the oil or the
Oil.
tallow they cook it in.
Yeah, now we're back to tallow.
Yeah, they
Beef
said
tallow.
they switch back to beef tallow.
Hey, that's a win. That's especially a win for us cattle folks. That's a win.
Right?
More money.
It doesn't take very much smarts to figure out that all that okay, so I'm a dumb farm kid. When you
Bye.
Hi, Jesse. When you feed pigs soybean meal and soybean oil, they get fat. They get really big and they get fat. Well, what did they tell us back in the 80s all of a sudden? Well, you can't be eating that beef tallow or that bacon grease. You got to eat
They were saying
vegetable
heart
oil.
disease. They
Well,
were
guess
claiming
when heart disease started exploding in this country? Right after that.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I'm the fat guy talking here, but
Oh, you're
I'm
not.
trying to get healthy on this deal. You know what I mean?
But I have
But
friends who are like stick figures, and they've had heart attacks, so that don't matter.
But Dale, I'm in the same boat as you, and I identify as a skinny person.
me too.
So
I still feel like I'm this big
that's right.
inside. I just can't do like I could do when I was that big.
Yeah, I hear you.
Y'all have all seen the old comic that has a woman going in front of a mirror, and she will be thin, and she'll look at herself, and she looks huge in the mirror. And guys, we go in front of the mirror, and we're huge, and when we look in the mirror, we look thin.
Yeah.
It's all about perception.
Yep. We're
How
all,
you
we're
perceive
all like,
yourself.
yeah, I'm a little guy.
Well,
I like
I don't
that,
know about
Randy.
you, Jesse, but I identify as I'm not fat. I'm fluffy.
Okay.
No, I'm not fluffy. I'm very fluffy.
I'll ask Gabriel if he is offended by that.
Gabriel Iglesias.
I knew you know. And by the way, thanks for my water burner, Jesse.
I was thinking about you, Bear Chris. Look at that. I said, you know, Chris would be happy. He'd be proud.
Yeah.
Hey, you know it's not a
I
real
feel the
Whataburger
love.
unless
I
it
feel the
unless
love,
it's got a space between what a burger.
There is a restaurant like that.
That's the real one.
There is a restaurant that in fact, we were coming back, I want to say from Oklahoma where we saw it. There's a restaurant called What? Space A, Space Burger. What a burger.
That was the originals. And there's one over in Arkansas that I know of for sure. And I tell you what, that stuff is the bomb. And X has been and a spurt is just a trip.
That's an awesome saying. I'm gonna have to use that.
That's a good one.
Hey, Bill.
Hi, Bill. Take it easy. Thanks for being here, buddy.
Good night, Bill.
Take it easy.
Wow, Bill.
Oh, Bill, he's been hanging out all night. So Angie has too.
Well, it's only what 7:30 over there in Alaska.
Yeah, he's probably going out on the town.
It's still early.
we talked about Whataburger and stuff like that, and you know, he's probably.
Well, I was trying to moderate and listen and all that stuff while I was doing stuff, but I heard y'all talking to Scott. He was talking about his auction thing. He's going to do some kind of auction on Wednesday.
Yeah.
At whatnot, or whatever.
Whatnot.
Yeah. And then I saw Dale. I saw your video today. Was it today or yesterday? Today. Yeah, but you hauled in on them DeWalt tools, boy. I said,
Yeah.
man. Lisa, she's happy I didn't go there because I'd have raked in on them tools.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you about well, it's right over here. Let me grab it.
Well, not just the tools. You got that radio too.
Yeah.
The shop radio.
I'm like, he bought the radio, but he's not going to be able to use it in hardly any of his videos for a copyright strike.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you who bought that radio. That radio, we walked in the door of that place and I started filming, and all that beer sign table was right at the beginning. And we go around the corner to where all that DeWalt stuff is. And this missus of mine, the pretty lady in this house, she zones in on that radio. I want that radio. I said, oh, why? I want that radio. Okay. I'm thinking that thing's going to bring way more money than I'm going to spend. So we go all right around that. And, you know, you can see at first of that video, all those people there, tons of people.
Yeah.
They sold all that DeWalt stuff And after the gun sold, that place looked like a ghost town. There wasn't 20 of us left in there.
Oh yeah, they were all over the guns.
And when it got to the DeWalt stuff,
Well,
I bought all that kit first. He slid all the tools and all that kit to one side, and he goes, "This is going to be a lot, and that radio is going to be a lot." And I got
what about the?
those tools a lot, and then heck, I'm like, I got to go to an ATM. I ain't got that much cash on me, so I'm trying to figure out where the ATM is. He starts selling that radio, and Lisa's like, "Hey, he's selling that radio." I said, "Well, do you want it?" "Yeah." I said, "Well, bid." She bid one time because he dropped it from 100. He started at clear down to 25. And
Wow.
somebody else bid, and she wouldn't bid. So I bid and got it bought. And then both of us was like, we got to go tell the clerk. We'll be right back. We got to run to the ATM.
So I was watching that video, and that's the first time I ever been to or seen an auction where they start at a number and they started going backwards. 6,000, 6,000, how about 55, 55, how about 45, 45, 32,
No, they always
32,
do that.
21,
They
21.
always do it. You haven't watched any of my videos. I can tell.
I have, Johnny, I have watched them. But
They
Yes,
you
because
always
you got-
start that dude way up there, and then they keep dropping.
No, on your videos, they'll start at 5,000. Nobody says nothing. He goes, "Okay, we're going to start at 2,000, 21 or 22, 20." They may start with one time. He was going 65, 55, 45, 35. Finally, he got down to 2,000. Anybody, 2,100 sold. You know, it's like, oh my God.
A lot of times, if you watch an auction, I would say if it's a $200, he'll start at 200. Then he'll drop it down right away down to like 50. It always ends back up to around $200 every time.
Right.
Not always.
Well,
But I'll tell you something. I'll tell you a secret about auctions. Never be the first bidder.
No.
Always wait, because when they're dropping it, just let them keep dropping it. Let them keep dropping it. Let them keep dropping it. And
Right.
if you get into if two guys get to bidding against each other, let them bid.
Yep.
And then whenever one of them starts petering out, you jump in fresh at that moment, because that unnerves the guy that's been bidding against the other guy, because he thinks fresh guy, he's liable to keep going.
Yep.
And they'll drop out, and you'll end up with it. You know.
So the one I kicked myself about, I bid on several of those snap-on tools. I just didn't, I knew what I could buy them for with the discounts I get at my work. So I wasn't going to bid, when I got close to that. But those great big old micrometers, those Starrett micrometers, they were like a 24 to 36 inch micrometer, which if you're into that, that is huge. Like, that means it precision measures 36 inches.
Yep.
That is
Yeah.
huge.
There was a lot of
I
those
wanted one of
machinist
them.
tools.
For the one reason I teach micrometers in my class, I wanted that great big thing up there to be my learning aid, because then kids really see it.
Display piece, yeah.
They started bidding on them things, and I really didn't realize. I mean, I knew they were high, and I'm like, I don't want to pay $100 just to have a learning aid. You know what I mean? That the school wasn't going to pay for.
Right.
Then after that sale, I looked that up. The cheapest one of those Starretts I could find on eBay was $750. That guy got a steal on that thing.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I knew they were whenever I saw what they were going for. I was like,
They were selling all those, all those lathe bits and everything. There was a whole pallet of them, not just the ones that are on the bench. All those tools and bits and fixtures and stuff, they sold whole pallet of those. And he was like selling them for $1 or $2 a piece. Some of them still brand new with like the plastic on them and everything.
there was a power station that went for sale today at where I was. It was powered by a 6-cylinder Ford engine, and it was it put out, I can't remember, it's like 48,000. It was huge, the number of wattage it put out, and
Kilowatt or megawatt or
it was huge. I mean, like huge, and it was an all power station for like job sites, like where you can run everything off of it. And I was thinking, man, that's what Joey and Ginger need out there on the homestead.
yeah.
I think it went for $100.
No
Really?
way.
Yeah, and ran. And I'm like, stuff like that. You if you're there, you can end up with just the craziest stuff. There's a John Deere tractor in this video, and somebody walked. I don't know who did it, but somebody turned the diesel off. It's got a shut off petcock on it. So when they were trying to start it, it started up and then it just died. And I was looking at the petcock and it was completely off. And I go, the fuel is on. And I was telling them, I said, the fuel, and you'll see it in the video. So they're messing around with it. And I guess it got an air in it whenever he tried to, when it happened.
Mhm.
So it wouldn't really stay running after that. But that little tractor was a steal. I mean, it was a nice little tractor, little John Deere. And I should have bought it. I mean, I should have left with it because, it was a dandy. It was probably one of the nicest old, small 2-wheel drive John Deere tractors I've ever seen. But
Hey Dale, you mentioned about those big starets that you were looking at. That you after it was over, you looked it up and to find out what the price was and stuff. You can do that as you're looking at it using your phone, right? You can go to Google and hit the little camera on there and take a picture of it, and it'll pull up all the starets or everything that it looks like, especially antiques. It'll show you what they're running and selling for online. Right instantly. You don't have to wait. You don't have to sit there and try to go figure it out.
Yeah.
So, I use that all the time when we thrift.
yeah,
Let's Google.
I'm constantly looking at mine. I'm walking around like there was a whole case of brake pads, and they were all the exact same number for sale there. I'm talking there was probably 100 pair of brake pads in there, brand new titanium. Is what they said, titanium on the deal, but it had one part number. So I looked them up. And they all fit like 4 GM models, and I was like, well, that throws me out because we don't have any, they didn't fit my GTO, so we're out.
So Johnny, that last auction you did of the video you said I didn't watch, you bought a table saw. You bought a table saw. You bought a little toolbox, little whatever.
See what I said? You don't watch my stuff.
And then you bought a Jeep. Then you also walked over there and watched a truck that got beat up by somebody else. So don't tell me I don't watch your videos, Bubba. I watch them.
Hey.
I may not always leave a comment, but I do
two auction videos out since that video.
I watch them too. Which one you want to know about? I'll tell you about all of them.
Tell me about my last one.
May not hear.
He does that sometimes because he didn't leave a comment on my funny video with the Shania Twain, but he watched it. So he
I did.
Everybody.
Yep.
I do that too. I go and watch.
What about my last one, Jesse?
Your last what? Your last video?
My last auction video that I just put out 2 days ago. Actually, I just put it out yesterday.
I haven't watched that one yet. I don't watch them right when they come out either.
How about the one before that I put out last Friday? Because it wasn't the one you described.
Which one was it? The one? Which one was it? Was it the one that not the Amish? Because that's the one you bought the tools.
Yeah,
the ones where you were looking at. You were looking at a bunch of
week later.
Yeah, you were looking at a bunch of chains on the ground, and you were looking at all the farming equipment or whatever, the homesteading equipment out there. I don't even remember what you bought.
That's the one with the saw and stuff there, isn't it?
Which one?
Is that the one that the saw was there along the building, the table saw?
I don't know. They all
No,
run
that was three video. That was 3 auction videos ago.
I'm hearing feedback. Is that me or is it somebody else?
No, it's my phone, y'all. That's why I keep pressing my mute button, so y'all don't need to hear.
I got something on back there. I said, keep hearing
I
me.
kept thinking somebody's eating ice or something.
Yeah, it's a Cracker Jacks box.
Well, I thought maybe it was Lisa. Lisa was watching it back there. We're getting feedback.
Angie's out. Good night, Angie.
Night, Angie. Angie. Bye, Angie.
I love you, Angie.
Good night, babe.
I actually had a guy come up to me today at the auction.
Oh,
And
speaking of that,
he walks up to me and he says, "You do auction videos all the time, don't you?" And I said, "Well, I do a few." And he goes, "I don't know how you get away with it." And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "You went to that one at Leach last week." And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "They ran me off from there." He said, "I'm a YouTuber too." And he said, "They ran me off, told me I could not video." And I said, "Well, you know what they did to me?" They said, "Hey, are we going to be on Channel 8 News or something like that?" I said, "I put it all in the video." And I said, "They didn't say a word to me." And he said, "Well, I don't know what I did, but they ran me off."
Well, I had one person that tried to tell me with the one I just put out today, you can't do that. You got to go get consent from all them people. I said,
Not public.
in a public place in the state of Kansas, you have no right to privacy in a public place like that.
well, there's no expectation. There's no expectation of privacy whenever you're in public.
Right.
I mean,
So
they can ask me not to, but that doesn't mean.
Well, with this fella, he told me, he said, this is where I do all my video. And he said, I do this auction right here. And I took that as, this is my turf.
Yep, exactly.
And I was like, well, you know what? I said, I have not heard of you. Even though, he's got a channel. I looked him up. He's got, he gets pretty good views and stuff like that. But I said, I've not heard of you. So obviously we have a different audience. I said, so we're, it's not no big deal, and so.
Do you know there's 100 million YouTube channels?
Yeah.
There's no way you're going to be able to cross.
And there's billions of folks that watch it.
Exactly.
So, that's what I tell people. There's a butt for every seat. So we're not in competition or anything like that. So if me and Dale were at the same auction, it's fine. It's not a big deal.
There's gonna be First of all, it's not like we're gonna glue our cameras together and we're both gonna have the same view. Even if we're at
right. Yeah, you get a totally different perspective. Because, like I said, Brandon Eddy was there videoing today. Walker Farm Fam was there videoing today. Dutch was there. What's the other one?
Dale. Arms. Yep.
Yep. So, and they were all videoing there today, and it doesn't matter because we don't have the same audience. You know what
right.
I'm saying?
And it's a different viewpoint.
Right.
It's a different viewpoint.
Different storyline.
Right. Yeah, because I videoed all the stuff. I bought a truck load of stuff today. So, I mean, I barely had room to get it all home. And so, it's a totally different deal. You get different comments from, like the people talking to you. I don't know how many people I had come up and talk to me today. There was a bunch of them. But anyway.
I was disappointed that you didn't bring home the blue oval Jeep, though.
Hey, that you saw how much it went for, right?
No, I missed the. I got to go back because I watched it, then my phone rang and it was still playing, and I missed the dollar figure on it. I'm like, well,
So what happened is the beginning of that, I filmed whenever I'm filming the actual Bronco.
Yeah.
When I'm filming it, you'll see it right when I'm filming it, you'll see it come across the screen how much it went for, and it's because I videoed that and my file corrupted on that shot.
Oh no!
And I missed that and the dually that was right next to it. I missed because the dually didn't sell because it didn't bring as much as the guy wanted.
Yeah, I remember the dually it did not sell because it didn't meet owners.
Yes.
You know,
and the Bronco went in the 20-something thousand range for the Bronco. And Christine, she said she would love to have it. And I said, yeah, I would too. It would be awesome. But I said, we won't be able to buy this here. Because with this crowd, we're not going to be able to own that.
I've watched
Bronco.
I've watched a lot of them sell online and everything else. And that's right in the dollar figure it takes to buy.
What year was it?
71.
It's it's the sexy curvy ones, the original OG.
Yeah, the OGs. Yeah, they're. Bye, Chris.
Bye, Chris.
See ya.
So,
Chris, with the fold down windshield and everything, those are cool, man.
Is that the video that has from yesterday or 8 days ago or 2 weeks ago?
That's from yesterday.
Yesterday.
Okay, I'll post that one then. I posted
it actually that Christine was really excited about that, and I told her, I said, we can't, there's no way we can outbid this crowd. I said, there's people that will be here only for that.
Right.
The only thing they want was that 71 Bronco.
And I honestly, the Dodge car,
yes,
the convertible, I really thought.
No, that wasn't a Dodge. That was a Cadillac.
It was? What year was that?
That was a Cadillac?
That was a Cadillac.
No, well then maybe I got it confused with. Was the Dodge? Was it a hardtop that had It had a Dodge engine in it.
Let me see.
Which?
It was like a hot rod, black.
No, we're talking about totally different cars. You're talking about the convertible, the fixed up car, the Dart.
Yes, the really nice.
Yeah, that one.
I really thought it would bring more than it did.
Oh yeah, me too. I figured that car would bring 30 easy.
Yeah, and then the engine, or the engine on there,
427.
I was like, you can go on Summit and buy one for about that money. Ready to go.
Well, I don't know. I've built big block Chevrolets built with worse parts than that and spent more. So,
well, that's my coworker. Like he just sold a big block that he built himself in his garage, and he told me, he said, I'll never build another one. He said, and he's built tons of engines and race engines. He's a Dodge guy, but he built this engine for another project and then ended up selling the car to somebody else that really wanted it. So he just had that, engine he built sitting in his garage.
Yeah.
And he said by the time he got done paying all those machine work, and everything and all the right parts to put on it, good heads and everything else and intake. He said, by the time I got done with that, he said, I'll never build another one. He said, I'll just go on Summit and order one.
Yeah, that big block Chevrolet that was in that video had Brodix heads on it. It had a factory steel crank in it, but it had the SRP.
Yep.
It had the real good steel H beam rod in it. It had the pistons in it were, because there was a paper on top of it that listed all the things that were in it. And it had some good parts in it. And if you put all that stuff together and tried to build it yourself,
It'd been a
it
lot
would
more.
have been quite a lot more than 3,000 or 3,100 or whatever it went for. And the one of the things that people liked about it, it was an actual factory 60. The block is a 69 427 out of a vet.
That's awesome.
So so there was that was going for it and stuff like that. So of course it didn't have the right rectangle port factory heads or any of that stuff on it, but the
Brodex heads, those are expensive heads.
Yeah, it's not like he had Speedmasters or something on it. I mean, it had Brodexes on it. It had some good heads, but and it was a brand new engine. The only time I had on it was dyno time. That was just running it on the dyno. So, but anyway, Vintage Vantage Points Sunday at 5:00 says heard that outdoors. All right, so hang on here. So let me put that up here. Heard Randy's going to bed, and they wanted to show Vintage Vantage Points Sunday at 5 p.m.
So that is Randy from Heard That Outdoors and Tom from At Home with Tom and Rhonda podcast.
Yep. So I need to go to Vintage Vantage Points, and if somebody if they could throw Vintage Vantage Points up in the chat, that would be awesome.
Night, Amy and Chris.
Night, Amy and Chris. Hey, this is almost like one of their lives. What are we working on?
Hey,
almost 4 hours.
Randy, can you drop their YouTube, because I went to look for it and I'm not sure if that's the one.
So I know I heard that it means well, but Vintage Vantage Point is basically, that's just a nice way of saying old person's viewpoint.
Yep.
Old geezer's viewpoint, but he didn't want to put old geezers because they're both old geezers. So Vintage Vantage Point. That's all it is. So if y'all want to know what an old geezer's vantage point, go check out that podcast.
Yeah, he said they're going to have like guests and stuff on there, and they're going to talk about stuff, and I'm
45.
that's at 5:00 tomorrow. I'll try to make it into that, and then Dale is going to be live at 6 tomorrow.
We got a whole rundown. Busy Sunday.
Then Monday is Digging in the Word with Sisters. So that's on at 7 p.m. on Monday. And then next Saturday is Jesse and Lisa. And they're or is it gonna be the Dogie wheel again, or
The Doge will be there.
the Doge? Okay, the Doge will be there.
Man, there is a lot of vintage There's a lot of those on there.
There's a lot of Vintage Vantage Points.
Yeah.
So Randy, which one is
one
it?
that comes up has 19,000 subscribers, but it's
At home with Tom and Rhonda live at 4. So you're saying you're going to be at home with Tom and Rhonda live at 4, and then we go from there to Vintage Vantage Points? Is that how it's going to work?
It might be like mine. It might be like they made a podcast on one of the other channels.
Okay.
Can you drop their? Yep, he said.
Yeah. So we got to go to At Home with Tom and Rhonda at 4.
Let me look at that up.
All right.
I got it.
So yeah, they're gonna have folks in there, and they're gonna talk about just all kinds of conspiracy theories and stuff.
They don't have a thumbnail up yet, so
Yeah, that's what I noticed.
Conspiracy theories is like, yeah, well, that was true.
Bingo.
So, anyway, well, guys, we've been on here, gosh, 3 hours and 55 minutes and 55 seconds.
don't even say nothing about ours anymore. Now I don't want to hear it.
I'm ready for bed. I'm
Hey,
tired.
I've had a great time. You missed it, Jesse.
At least when
You
people
missed
leave
it,
my
Jesse. I'm gonna leave you with something. If you didn't see this, hang on. If you didn't see this, I'm gonna leave you with what was caught on trail camera.
Oh, the outdoor. Yeah.
It's like that TV show. They
don't
used
tell
to-
me it's Sasquatch.
No,
Oh,
well, it's kind of like
no.
Sasquatch. There's some squatting going on, kind of.
Outdoor bidet.
Outdoor bidet. Huh?
Yeah, that show.
Can you believe that?
I can believe it.
That's
I can believe
real.
anything. That's in Oklahoma. I believe anything.
Hey, Lynn, the okie dokie. Lynn was here. All right. Yep. Old school perspective from old farts is what he said.
What I tell you.
So
I may not always be
guys,
right, but I'm not wrong.
we're gonna hop off here. 3 hours, 57 minutes, and 18 seconds. I appreciate y'all being here. And yeah, go out with a dang bang. Yeah. That's dang bam. Right. Yeah, I bet there was some bam going on. But anyway, thank you, Evelyn. Evelyn's throwing up stuff about the 10 Killer YouTube meetup, and we're so excited to see all you folks at the meetup. That's going to be so awesome. And yeah, go get you a shirt. Everybody here will have a shirt before Gilliam Farms has a shirt from our own bonfire. You guys have a great night, and we're gonna end this stream now.
You got to pay that ship.